So the next thing now we're going to be looking at is how to carry out our template. Now this template serves as a guide, just like when you are starting your measurement of anything. They will first give you your taking off lists, right? But because of I've already told you that it is only count, linear area, and some little tools that we're given for our measurement, we have to do some tweaking when it comes to measuring for volume, when it comes to measuring for tons, right? So now the essence of this template is to save you time. By the time you do the template once, you can be using this template now to carry out other measurements. The only time you create a new template is if the template created is not able to measure the item in the drawing. Then you create a new template and you update it. So the first thing we need to do now is to go to this top bar, right, where you see home, page 2, view estimating list. Now you can see templates. All you just need to do is to click on templates. So now that you click on templates, right, you can see now what we have here. This are the templates that came with the PlanSwift, right? But these templates now are conditioned for, let me just say, European countries, even though there might be some similarities. However, you can create your own template. So let me just give you an example. You see this building measurement tab here. If I click on it, you can see this is the template I started creating, right? So if I open it, you can see this. These are the taking off list that I have already tweaked on the PlanSwift, right? I've created them to be a template. So anytime I want to do removal of trees, all I just need to do is to come here, click on removal of trees and measure. Anytime I want to do trench excavation, all I just need to do is to click on this thing in the template and measure. It saves me the time of going to re-edit the formulas. So now, how do we start our own template? So the first thing we need to do now, after you've come to your template tool here, all you just need to do now is to click on new tab. So click on new tab. Now a pop-out menu will come out and you can see name. So I can call this tutorials, right, and click on OK. So you can see now the new tab has been created here. So now inside this new tab is where we're going to be creating our templates. So the first thing we need to do now is to create a new folder inside of this new tab. So all you just need to do now is to come here. You can see we have new folder here, right? Click on new folder and you can see the new folder has been created. However, a properties tab popped up and all we just need to do now is to rename. So we're going to be renaming it as taking off list, and we click on let me just say tutorials, and we click on OK. So you can see what we have here, and then maybe we can elongate this. So now after doing this, now I want to create a new folder inside of this folder. So all I just need to do now is to go here again, create new folder. The same pop-up menu will pop up. So all we just need to do is to rename it as checklist, and click OK. Now if you look at this, what we've just done here is that this checklist folder, we want it to be inside this taking off list folder. However, we just created it in such a way that the checklist folder is standing as a separate folder as this taking off list folder. So all you just need to do is to come here to this adjust and then click on the move right. Make sure that the checklist folder is already clicked on, right? As you can see, this blue thing here means that I have clicked on it, right? So all I just need to do now is to go to this adjust, move right, and then we move right. Now you can see now that this checklist folder has entered into our taking off list folder. So all our templates now that we're going to be generating is going to be inside of this checklist folder. Just to refresh our memory now, let's just say that the template we're trying to create is for what? Substructural works, for what? A building. So what is the taking off list now? Let me refresh your brain. So we know that the first thing we need to do is removal of trees. After the removal of trees is what? Site clearance. After site clearance is what? Site preparation or removal of topsoil. After that, foundation trench excavation and column pit excavation. After that, leveling and compaction and termite treatment. After that, you do your reinforcement for the column basket and the starter bars. After that, you do your formwork and you do your casting, that's the concrete and foundation, and so on and so forth, right? So now we're going to be doing removal of trees, site clearance, and removal of what? Top soil. So now we know that our removal of trees is in what? Enumerated, that's the unit. So we're going to be using the count tool. We know that site clearance is what? In square meters. So we're going to be using the word area tool. Now remember that when we were learning, right, site clearance comes in two ways. The way you do your site clearance, if they give you your site plan, is different from the way you do your site clearance if they don't give you your what? Site plan, right? Remember that if they don't give you your site plan, we do what we call what? We add workspace, right? And after we add workspace to the perimeter of the drawing, then we can now what? Find the area, referencing the area for the floor plan, referencing the what? Workspace that has been what? Added. So I'm going to be teaching you how to go about the two major ways you can do your what? Site clearance, and then I'm going to be showing you how to do your what? Topsoil excavation in this video. So first things first, removal of what? Trees. So what you just need to do now is to what? Come here and click on what? New count. So now when you click on new count, now all you just need to do is to name it what? Removal of what? Trees. So now what you can come here and change the shape that it is going to look like when you are doing the measurement. So if you choose circle, when you click on what you want to count, it is going to put a circle there. So the next one you're going to be doing is what? Color. So you choose the color of the circle whenever you click on what you want to count. So let's just say orange, right? Then we click on what? OK. So before we click on OK, when I was saying something about tweaking of the formulas, right, you can see what we have here: cost total, quantity times what? Cost each. So there are some formulas imputed, right, that has been imputed inside the PlanSwift software, and it gives you the ability to tweak them to whatever you want to what? Do, right? So now all we just need to do now is go to the what? Point count. Now you see this place where we say point count, right? Now this point count is the tool that we just picked now, which is new count, right? So now all you just need to do now is what? Move here. You can see the units from this point, impute units, right? You can see the unit here as EA. This EA means what? Enumerated, meaning what? To count. So it means that the unit is what? Correct. I hope that makes sense. So the next one now is what? Takeoff. So now you see this takeoff that we see here. Anything we measure or we count with this point count, it is going to show here as our what? Takeoff. It means that we've already what? Taken off for it. We've measured it, right? So now what this PlanSwift does is that whatever has been taken off, right, it is going to what? Take it towards this quantity here. Because remember that PlanSwift is not a tool meant only for measurement. It is also a tool that can be used to prepare a what? Bill of quantity. So how it works is that everything that you've measured, it is going to be storing them in the what? This quantity part here in the estimating tab, right? So now you can see now we have what? Takeoff, and the unit is what enumerated, as you can see here. So now in a case where our measurement is volume, so we are, like I said before, PlanSwift gives us area as what we will use to measure for volume. So if you go down here in the takeoff point, you can see what we have, what area. So anytime we click on the area, right, it is going to what record what we've measured here, and then it is going to record whatever it is in the area inside your what takeoff tab, which is here. So if you go to your quantity, right, you can see takeoff here. It is going to, this takeoff means that it is taking off for what area, but we are looking at what volume. So all you just need to do now is to what click on this, and then you know that this takeoff means that it has taken off for area. So all you just need to do is to click on asterisk here, which in computer language means multiplication, and then all you just need to do is to create a new property called depth. When you create the insert, like as you can see here, we have what insert property here. So if I click on this now, you can insert what a new property, call it depth, right? Click on OK. A new property is going to show here. So all you just need to do now is to what copy and paste it here, right, and then put asterisk in between. So this takeoff means that it has taken off for area, so it is going to multiply it by what whatever depth we tell it to what put. So I hope you can understand that, but you are going to see how everything works when I start the templates, right? So all we just need to do now, okay, let me just start afresh now. No, do not save. First things first, click on new count. When you click on new count, you rename it as what removal of what of trees. The shape should be circle. The color, let's just put it as what green, and we click what OK. So now remember I told you that this removal of trees, I want it to be inside of this what checklist, right? So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to what move it to the side. So now if I close this checklist folder, you can see that it is what inside, right? So now remember that in our standard method of measurement, they told us that we shouldn't just measure our trees together, separate them according to their what gets, right? So what we can do is that we can come here in our description, right? Now the description, now you can say removal of trees gets 500 to what 1500 as stated in our what standard method of measurement, and you click on what OK. So you can see what we have here, right? You can see what we have. Removal of trees gets 500 to 1500. So if you want to do removal of trees for the next gets, which our standard method of measurement states as 1500 to what 3000 meters, all you just need to do is to what click on new count. When you click on new count, all you just need to do now is to say what removal of trees gets as what 1500 to what 3000 mm, and you click on what the color as what green, and you click on what OK. So now the next this thing according to our standard method of measurement is what get of what 3000 and above of 1500 millimeters what increments. So that is that. So now we've done everything concerning our what removal of what trees. So I can put this removal of trees inside this removal of this first get of 500 to 1500. So I can shift this one to the side, so you can see that it has what entered. You can also decide to leave it like this, anyone goes. So now that we've done our removal of trees, let us test it out. So now we go to our home tool, to our home tab. So now all we just need to do now is to look for a suitable drawing that has what we are looking for. Okay, so as you can see, what we have here is our site plan. Now remember, because of this is not measurements proper, it is best that you do all the editings to this, get all the necessary drawings that you are going to be needing. So I can come here click on one of the drawings. That's right click or left click, whatever your mouse command is. So click on properties. When you click on properties, I can what rename this as what site plan, and click on what OK, and you can see that it has what changed. So when you click on OK, now we have our what site plan. So what you can do now before you start any measurement is to what edit everything here to your what taste, to make things easy. Now to make things easy for me, I can also move this site plan to the top of the drawing so that it will be easy for me to what look for. So all I did was I clicked on it, right? When you click on it, click, hold, and then move, right? Click, hold, and then move to the top, right? So let me just do the same thing. Click, hold, and then move to the top. So you can see our site plan is on top. Now let us imagine, although these are not trees, these are already planted landscaping, this thing vegetations, right? So assuming that this was a barren land and there were what trees, so all you just need to do is to what go here. You can see templates, paths, and input. All you just need to do, go here, right? Click on this drop down menu, and then you can see the templates we created earlier, tutorials. So when you click on tutorials, whatever you name it as, you click on it. So now you can see taking off list tutorials, right? So if you click on it, you can see inside the folder is the checklist, and if you click on it, inside the checklist is the what removal of what trees. So let's just imagine that there's we need to remove trees that have get of what 1500, that have get of what 500 to 1500. So all you just need to do is to come here, click on this green button here, click on it. Now when you click on it, this property tab is going to what come out. So all you just need to do now is to what select the shape that you want and the what color, and click on what OK. Now before you start any serious measurement, I think when it comes to the linear, area, and voluminous items, you need to scale your drawing first. By the time we go to our site clearance, you will understand what I'm talking about. However, it can allow you, without scaling your drawing, to carry out counting operation. So now you can see what is saying in the mouse button, click next point. So let's just imagine that this is a tree between get 500 to 1500. So you click on it. Now you can see what we have here. The green circle has what appeared, and what can you see? 1, right? So now let's just see this is another one. You can see it has increased as what 2. Let's just see this is another one. You can see it has increased as what 3. Let's just see this is another one. It has increased to what 4. So now if you want to stop this operation, all you just need to do is to click on what escape, right? So now let's just imagine that you forgot to add another 3 that is still under the same get. All you just need to do is to go to this pages and bookmarks menu here, right? Now you can see under this site plan, which is the drawing that we are on presently, you can see we have what something recorded, removal of trees, right? And you can see the measurement is what 4 number. This EA means enumerated items, so 4 what enumerated items has been what recorded. So let's just imagine that there were 5 in number and we mistakenly recorded what 4. So all you just need to do now is to go to this blue button here beside the already recorded removal of trees and what click on it. Now you can see now that it is continuing from where you stopped. Where we stopped, we counted 4 initially, so you can still what add, right click, and you see it has increased to what 5, right click, and it has increased to what 6. So if you are done, you can now press what escape, and it has what recorded as what 6 number of what trees, gets 500 to what 1500. So now if you want to look at your takeoff summary, which is a summary of everything you've taken off, all you just need to do is to come down here, right, click on takeoff summary, and you can see the first item we measured is what removal of trees, get of what 500 to what 1500, and how many number 6. So you can see it is what easy to what to go about. So let's just imagine now we have another trees of get 1500 to 3000 mm. So all you just need to do first is to go to the templates menu here. As you can see, we have it already on this point, get 1500 to 3000. So all you just need to do is to click on this. Okay, select the shape you want. You can change the shape to maybe triangle or what, square, whatever it may be. So color, let's just leave the color as green. Click on OK. Let's just say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and you click on what, escape. Now you can see it has been recorded on that what drawing file here on the site plan. If you go to your takeoff summary, you can see here. Now PlanSwift have a way of making you to off, let's just say that there are a lot of drawings in one, a lot of measurements in one drawing. So you see this bulb too, you can off it. So you can see that some of the measurements we've done are hidden. So if you hide this one too, you can see that all the measurements have been hidden. I can unhide it. Inside this place also, you can change the color of one. So if I click on this now, I can change this to red. Now you can see now that it has changed color to what, red. I hope you understand that. So now this is how you go about measuring for what, the removal of trees. So the next item we're going to be looking at is what, removal of what, or let's just see site clearance. The next thing now we need to do is to what, create the template for our what, site clearance. So all we just need to do is to go to the templates tab on top here, click. Now we are on our tutorials tab. So all we just need to do now, we know that the unit of measuring site clearance is in what, square meters. So which tool are we going to be using here? We are going to be using our what, area tool. So you click on new area. Now when you click on new area, you can see at this point new area has been what, created. So all we just need to do is to what, rename it as what, site clearance. Now remember I told you that site clearance can be measured in two ways, right? You can measure site clearance when they give you your site plan and when you are not giving your site plan. The difference is that when you are not giving your site plan, all you just need to do is to add workspace. So this is site clearance with site plan, right? Now you choose a color, let's just say yellow, right? Now when you choose this color, right, the first thing you are going to be doing now is to what, go to your advanced. Now when you go to your advanced, now what can you see? You can see that these are all your what, formulas, right? So if you go to your area tool, because it is area we're using, anytime you measure, your measurement is going to be appearing here. You can see the unit already is in what, square meters, right? I hope you understand. So now since we know that our unit is correct, if you go to our quantity tool where we have the takeoff here, you can see the takeoff, the unit is in what, square meters. Why? Because the takeoff is signifying that it is taking off for what, area. We selected what, area 2. So all we just need to do now is to click on what, OK. Save changes, yes, right? So now we've already created our site clearance template underneath here. So now to measure with this site clearance, you go back to your home page. Now you can see this is our site plan, right? If I pan this to the center, you can see this is our site plan. So all we just need to do now is to come back to our template, click on this. However, this will not work because we have not yet what, scale our what, drawing. Remember I told you that it will only allow you measure if you are what, counting. However, if you are doing other operations that involve linear meters, square meters, cubic meters, you have to scale the drawing first. So now if you look at this now, you can see this tool requires you to scale the what, page first. Would you like to set the scale now? Let me just say no. So now how do we scale? Now to scale, all you just need to do now is to go to this point here, right? If you click on this now, you can see that it's giving you different types of what scales, but they are in feet and what inches, right? However, we can scale automatically, right? So all you just need to do is this: click on the scale. Now when you click on the scale, you can see now that this is on metric, so you want it to be on metric and you want it to be in what? Meters. So all you just need to do now is to go to the drawing, right? When you go to the drawing, look for one unit, one dimension in the drawing and bring it back here. So you can see that this dimension, if let me just exit so that you can see it properly. If I zoom in, you can see this dimension is what? 20,000 millimeters, right? Which is the dimension from point PB04 to point PB03, the center to center dimension, right? 20.000 millimeters. So I want to scale now. So when the scale tab pops up, all you just need to do now is to bring back that 20,000 millimeters into what? Meters. So 20,000 millimeters into meters is what? 20.00. So you can see now that here it has shown you that it is what? 20.000. So all you just need to do is to what? Click OK. Now do not click on apply scale to all pages, because the scale could change. Now we might be drawing, now this particular drawing might be drawn in scale 1:100, another drawing might be drawn in scale 1:50. So it's best that you scale them individually, right? So now you click on what? Okay, you can see automatically create dimension line. Yes, it should be what? Checked. So you click on what? Okay. So all you just need to do now is to zoom into points here. You can click on M, letter M, to magnify, right? You can click on letter M to magnify. So all you just need to do is to centralize the center point, right, and click. When you click on that, you just move this to the second point here. You can click on what? Magnify and what? Centralize, and click on enter. So now you can see now that it has scaled it, that from this point here down to this point is 20 meters. However, because of accuracy, I like to scale in two places, both vertical dimension and horizontal dimension. So we've done our what? Horizontal dimension. The next is what? Vertical dimension. So for vertical dimension now we have what? This dimension as what? 29,000 millimeters, right? So all we just need to do now is to click on what? Scale. When you click on scale, all you just need to do is to convert it to meters, which is 29.00. Click on what? OK. So when you click on OK, zoom into that point, right? You can click on what? Magnify, which is M. Click on M, or hold M rather on your keyboard and click. So when you click that, what you just need to do now is to what? Come to this point. Now assuming this was AutoCAD, it will give you a snapping distinct points at this point here to make it more precise. However, we're just working with, trying to be as precise as possible. So you magnify and you what? Centralize and you what? Click. So now it has shown you that this is what? 29 what? Meters. So now after scaling this, now you can now what? Start your what? Measurement. So to start your measurement now, all you just need to do now is to go to the template tab, click on this green button close to site clearance with site plan, click on it. When you click on this now, you're going to see this properties tab. So all you just need to do is to what? Click on OK. So the first thing we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be clicking on what? This point here. You can see that the snap tool now, it is referencing on this dimension line that we've used to what? That is serving as our scale. So all you just need to do is to click. Now you see this arrow here helps you to what? Drag, right? So you can click on this. Now when you click on this, you move to the what? Next point. and then you try to be as precise, because the snap tool is not very accurate when you use PDF. However, if it is AutoCAD, it is going to show. So you just have to be as try as possible to be precise. So now the next thing we can now do is that, since we know that this place is a reference point now, and we know that if you look at this down point here, our snap tool is on. So if I off it now, you can see the snap tool is no longer active. So if I click on this, the snap tool is active. So I can click on this, use this as a reference point. How do I know that it has served as a reference point? It is going to be showing green, right? So now all I just need to do is to drag down to this point and click on enter. Now after doing this, now all you just need to do is to click on escape. Now you can see now that we have our measurements. Now if you look at this now, size clearance with size plan, you can see 579.9 square meters. I hope you understand. So now the next one we're going to be looking at is the site clearance, but when we are not given our site plan. So the next one now is site clearance, but with without site plan. So now remember, when you were doing your measurements, right, they told you that when you want to do your site clearance and they are not giving you site plan, you can use your floor plan. However, you have to add work space. So now how do we go about that? Now you go back to your templates, right? Now you are going to click on, you know that our site clearance is in square meters, so we're going to be using the area tool. So you click on area. When you click on area, you can rename this to be site clearance without site plan. So when you click on this, you can click color. Let's just say color to be blue, and then you click on OK. So now inside of this site clearance with site plan, we are going to use our linear tool here to create what we call an offset or your workspace. So all you just need to do now is to click on linear tool. Now when you click on the linear tool, you are going to name it offset or workspace, right? So when you click on this now, you go to the color tool. You can click this to be let me just say red, right? Then you click on advanced. Now when you click on advanced, right, we are going to create a new property called width. This width would add a wideness to the line. It's going to give the line thickness, right? It's going to make it thicker. So all we just need to do now, when you click on properties, you see this part where we say add property, right? Click on add property. When you click on add property, let's just name it as width, right? Now where do we want this add property to be? Which group? Now we want it to be in the takeoff data, and then we click on OK. So now you can see now the width has been created in the takeoff data, right? So all we just need to do now is this. You see this takeoff data that we have here, right? All we just need to do now is to change the units to meters. Now that we've changed the unit to meters, if you look at this place here, you can see this check button. You click on it. The essence of this check button is that anytime we click on this offset tool and it gives us that property tab, we want to be seeing this width on the property tab. For example, this is what I mean, right? If you click on form, right, you can see this is what we are supposed to actually see on our property tab, right? You can see now the width is there. So you click on go back to advanced. Now you see this takeoff. Now that's why I see you should always check the unit. Change the takeoff from feet to what? Square meters, to linear meters, sorry, because it is what? Offset to what? Linear meters, right? When you do that, everything now is in line, right? So all you just need to do now is to click on what? OK. So now after doing that, now you see this offset tool. I want the offset tool to not stand as its own. I want it to be inside this site clearance without what? Site plan. So what we just need to do is to click on this move to the right button here, as you can see here, move to the right, and now you can see now that it has what? Entered it. Yeah, now what? 1, right? So now how do we go about the measurement? So all you just need to do now is to what? Go to your home. As you can see, this is our what? Floor plan for the ground floor. So all you just need to do now is to come here, click on this plus sign. You can see the offset. Now click on the what? Green button here. When you click on the green button, now you can see now that this tool requires you to what? Scale the page first. So all you just need to do is to what? Click on no and then scale. So now remember how we scaled our previous drawing, right? So you can see this dimension is what? 13,411 millimeters. So all you just need to do is to scale, convert it to meters, 13.411. Click on OK, and then from here now you can now what? Click. So you can click on the magnify tool just to have a clean reference. Click, and then you can now what? Shift to the other side. So when you do that, click on what? Hold M to magnify, and then try and what? Centralize. So now you can see now that we've what? Recorded the scale for this horizontal dimension. So like I said before, for accuracy, I like to do for what? Horizontal and vertical. So now this vertical dimension here is 15,235 millimeters. So we'll scale 15,000 plus 15.235 millimeters, and you click on what? OK. So the same thing now that we did. Come to this point here, click on magnify, try and centralize, enter, or click on, you click, then move to the other end. When you move to the other end, right, you magnify by clicking on what? M, holding M, centralize, and you what? Click. So doing that now, we've what? Scaled 15.23 in 2 decimal place, but you can see 15.235. So now let's move further. Now after we've done our scaling, so all we just need to do now is to click on what? This offset tool here. Click, you can see the property. So all you just need to do is to what? Set the width. So let's just say that the width or the thickness of this line now, which we save as our workspace, right? Let's just say is 0.80, which is 800 mm, but remember our unit is in meters, so we have to convert 0.80 meters. So all you just need to do now, if you go to your advanced tool, you can see now that everything is the right thing. So you just need to do click on OK. So now all you just need to do now is this. Now what I can do is that I can use this snap tool here as reference. Now how do I know that it has been snapped? It is supposed to show green, but if it does not show, which is the case when you're done with PDF, all you just need to do is to right click to show this. When you right click, let's click outside and then click, you can see now, just touch it, it will show green, and then you can now move to your what? Reference. So now you can see now I want this a perpendicular line to what? Intersect this snap tool. So I can use this scale here. You see that it is not showing green, means that it has not snapped. So let's click on it. So you can see we have new section. So I right click outside. Now you can see that it has been snapped. So now when I snap it, you can see what we have here. So when I do this now, you can see it has what? Created. So all I just need to do now is to outline it round the what? The drawing. So magnify, right, find a suitable point, click. Now go to the next point, magnify, find a suitable point, click, magnify, find a suitable point, click, magnify, find a suitable point, click, find a suitable point and click, so you do the same thing here. You can magnify, find a suitable point and click, magnify, find a suitable point and click, and then you are not going to stop at the extreme end. Here you can see the snap tool is effective, so you just click and then you press escape. So now you can see now that we've created our workspace. So now after creating our workspace, now all we just need to do now is to come back here, click on this site clearance here on our template tab, click on it, right? So you can see what we have here. We have our color selected, so all we just need to do is click on OK. So when we click on OK, now you can see now from this point now the snap tool is effective. So you click on this, move to the next point, click on it, 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 click on it, click on it, and then click on it, and then escape. So now you can see in our taking off this thing, our measurement is in 238.24 square meters, right? So you can see here on the drawing 238.2 square meters. So you can see that it has already been measured. So now if you want to do your removal of topsoil, you can still use in the same method, whether it is site plan or whether it is floor plan. So if you go to your templates now, minimize this. Now removal of topsoil is measured in meters square, so we're going to be using area, the area tool. So all you just need to do now is to rename removal of topsoil. So after doing that, now you choose a color. Let me just say green. When you click on advanced, you can see now takeoff is in square meters, so was set. So you click on OK. So now all you just need to do now is to go to your home, right? Now let's just say that the removal of topsoil we're doing is for the one where the site plan is not given. So all I can do now is that you see this site clearance that we just did, I can leave it like this, or I can hide it, like I said before, with this bulb, this light tool here. So all I just need to do now is to come to my templates, go to removal of topsoil, click on this green button, the property tab comes up, click on OK, and then what you will now do now is to click, 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 and then escape. Now you can see now that removal of topsoil has been measured as 238.2 square meters. Now let's just imagine that we're given our site plan, right? So if this was our site plan, all we just need to do is this, right? All I just need to do is to come here, click, new this thing, click on OK, right? And then all I just need to do now is to click on the points, because the area of the site that we cleared is also the area of the site that we're going to be removing topsoil. So you can see we've done that. So if I go to my takeoff summary, you can see we've done the removal of trees, 6 in number, which gets 500 to 1500 mm. Removal of trees with 1500 to 3000 mm as how many? 8 in number. I can remove this. That's 3 in number, right? So the next one, site clearance with site plan 579.89. Then our offset stone, which is not part of our measurement. Then we have site clearance without what site plan. You can see 238.24. Removal of topsoil. This first one we did was what, when we don't have site plan. You can see 238.24. The same with the site clearance. And then you can see the removal of topsoil when we have site plan. You can see 579.89, which is similar to the site clearance that we did when we used was the site plan, because it's the same area of site that we're clearing, that's the same area that we're going to be removing topsoil. So you can see that this is how you go about creating your templates, right? So with this, now we've created our template for removal of trees, site clearance, and removal of topsoil. In the next video, we're going to be treating how to do the template for foundation trench excavation and column pit excavation. So with this, we've come to the end of this video. If you had any benefiting knowledge from this, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel. You can join the membership to have access to other exclusive measurement content. So thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.